Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tyler. I'm a photographer from Buffalo, New York, who's recently just got into film photography, and that's what you're watching now is me learning and my film photography process. Probably the most unchill thing about film photography, for me at least, is the costs and how quickly it adds up. Not only do you have to pay for the film itself, which can add up, especially if you're shooting slightly nicer film stocks, and then the developing and scanning can actually cost quite a bit too. So for me and what I'm paying in my area and the film I'm buying, which is Portra 400 and similar things like that, I'm ending up paying about $25 to $30 for a roll of film and the processing of it, which is pretty expensive in my opinion for one roll of film. I know that is kind of the cost of doing business with film photography, but I feel like there's cheaper ways to do it. And another thing is I'm kind of impatient, and the lab near me can do color scans and developing the same day. But for black and white, they have to send out, and that takes a couple of weeks, and that's just not something I really like doing. I don't like waiting, and film in general as a waiting process, so waiting an extra few weeks just to get my scans seems a little unnecessary. Not to mention the lab is about a half hour away, so driving there every week just seems like kind of tedious. So I've been thinking of probably just buying a developing kit and learning that process myself. That way I can do it right when I'm done with the roll of film and get everything done the same day. And from everything I've been seeing, the developing process isn't that hard as long as you can pay attention, but the hardest process, or the most complicated, seems to be scanning in your negatives and getting it onto a computer and making prints. This week's video was supposed to be me reviewing my first roll of Ilford HP5 through my Konica C35, but they don't have it because it has to take a few weeks, and they told me to be same day, but whatever, I'm past that. What I did find, however, I did find these old negatives from a roll I put through my Canon AE1 about almost 4 years ago. 2017 is when the prints were dated. So I thought I'd try to tackle the scanning process at home and see what I can do. And I think I can do this with just my phone and a light. I know these scans really aren't going to be super high resolution, but I think they'll be good enough for social media and Instagram, and enough for me to kind of proof those. And if I want to get them scanned and printed larger, I can actually send them in or bring them to my lab to get scanned for higher quality scans. So yeah, this is scanning your negative film with your phone. Voiceover Tyler here. I'm going to walk you through how I tackled this and then show you some of the results. This is an old video light that I have that I don't use anymore. It's a bicolor LEDs with an articulating head, and it has a piece of plastic diffusion material that honestly works pretty well. The only issue with this light is to use the white LEDs, they are every other row, so you can see how uneven it is when you have that diffusion panel right up against it. So I had to come up with a way to raise that diffusion panel up. So I just grabbed these pieces of canvas or paintings that I have to raise it up. That way you get an even distribution of light over the whole panel with just enough room to lay a negative down. Now I know I probably should have taped these down, but this is just for demonstration purposes. Turn the light up and it seemed to work pretty well. So one thing I did notice is the diffusion material itself has a slight texture to it, which actually ended up making the photo look grainy because you can see it through the negative. So I raised the film strip up off that diffusion material just to give it a little bit more even light. And then I went into Lightroom, edited it to a positive image and tweaked some of the settings, and that was that. I think they honestly came out pretty good, and I'll let you see how they look here. So as you can see, the iPhone scans aren't perfect, but I think they do a good enough job for sharing on social media and seeing what prints I actually want to get scanned at higher quality. Like I said, the main reason I want to do this is to see if I can develop and scan at home while also keeping my costs low, because I don't want to spend a ton of money on this right yet. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you got something out of it, and thank you for subscribing if you haven't already. I would love it if you subscribe to watch my film photography journey, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one.